Hey, this is John. I'm going to do a review of Steel Battalion Heavy Armor. First I want to talk a little bit about my setup. The controls work real well for me. You'll see, of course I got my 360 there. The Kinect at the top of my TV, which is, it's probably just about 6 feet up. It's about as tall as I am. You'll see that I have a chair right over here. Now this, ignore this, I normally would never play with this. This is used mainly for just to hold up the camera while I'm talking. There's my chair right there. You see the couch back there? I actually don't play from the couch. The chair is probably, just to give you an idea, the distance from my TV to the chair, it's probably about 5 feet away. I don't actually play from the couch because the controls are broke if I play from the couch. You have to play about anywhere from 6 to 11 feet, but honestly I find 11 feet doesn't work well for me. So anyway, let's get started, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Steel Battalion. Don't expect a glowing review, but don't expect me to say the controls are broken either. Prop that right up so you can see my TV. You won't be able to see me play. If you're interested in that, you are probably better off watching a video I did a couple days ago of how to play Steel Battalion. This is going to be mainly just focusing on the game itself, and I'll probably play 10 minutes of the game. If that, I try to keep my reviews under 10 minutes. So also my sound's, as always, down or off, so I can talk. In case you didn't see the other view, this game's a hybrid between Kinect and the regular controller. The regular controller does your first-person shooter controls. The Kinect handles all of your interactions with your squad mates and your cockpit. It's inside your vertical tank, aka a VT or a VEET. Mech. This is actually a sequel, of course, to Steel Battalion. For the original Xbox, it came with a controller with 40 buttons and had a foot pedal. It's not that advanced this time, but anyway, you can see here I'm going through the calibration. I actually hold the controller in my hand. I find if I don't, sometimes it'll jump out of calibration. So you can see, just for your sake mainly, I've actually finished the game. I'm just going to do a single mission. I'm going to pick an easy mission just so I don't get my butt kicked in front of everybody. So here's, just going to do the waterside warehouse. Nope, not going to play co-op. And I'm just going to do a quick review of the game as a script I'm going to avoid. The game is actually a lot of fun once you master the Kinect controls. Before you do the Kinect controls, you'll find that the game's very difficult. It takes some time. As I said, I did a video of that already, on how to play the game. So this video is going to mainly focus on the TV and not on me playing it. You'll see that I can play it very smoothly. And if I want to switch to my AP, my heat rounds, you can do all of that, and I can do that pretty much consistently. So I don't know, if I want to go outside of the cockpit view. If I want to, let's say I want to vent smoke, I'm going to do that right now. You can see I can do these things. So the controls, are not really broken. It's all about having the right play environment. I'm actually going to check to see what my tank. I got a crappy tank. I'll probably end up losing the match, but that's okay. That's not the point of this review anyway. So if I want to use my periscope view, it looks like somebody already beat me to him. Anyway, I'm not going to use my periscope view. Somebody killed him. I'll use it here. This guy. But you can see the graphics are, they're fairly good. The sound is actually really nice, I think, in the game. I have it off, unfortunately. The graphics, I think, they look nice. They're presentable. It's not the best looking game on the 360, but for the Kinect, I would say it's one of the better looking Kinect games. Boy, I'm not sure why this game's so easy. I'm just mowing these guys down. Now, just so you know, the game is not usually this easy. I have an upgraded mech. But, yeah, it's a difficult game. I'm making it look pretty easy because I've probably sunk in 10, 15 hours into this game. So, trust me, I don't think the game's that bad. I think the reviewers just didn't have the right environment for Kinect, and, you're going to have an awful experience. I said if I play from the couch, it doesn't work. But you can see my silhouette. One of the nice things is it puts it on the top left, and you can see if anything's going wonky. I have had my hands go out of control once in a while. I end up having to step away and recalibrate. That shouldn't happen. Let's not, let's not beat around the bush. That should not ever happen, but it does. It's annoying, but I'm not going to hold it too far against the game. Now the game has really cheap AI, and by cheap I mean super cheap. You are always put in impossible missions. I've never played the first Steel Battalion, so full disclosure, as much as I've always wanted the original Steel Battalion, I have never played it, but I understand that was not an easy game either. Ooh, I got rocked. So, you know, it could be, in fact, it's probably most likely it's because I'm pretty new to Steel Battalion. So I think the game's really difficult. Trying to blow up that ship. Oh, wow. You can see right there, a shot that I thought was perfect doesn't give me the kill. In fact, I just missed again. Wow. But, you know, I can't blame the game. I think the game's so difficult that a lot of reviewers pretty much just blame the game for a lot of the problems, and I don't like that. You know, it's your fault if if you're having problems with the game most of the time. The Kinect controls do work. You just have to fiddle around with them. You shouldn't have to fiddle around with them, but you do. The game's a lot of fun to play. It doesn't look very fun watching me, and I'm just basically going to talk during this review, and that's pretty much it. Oh, hello. But, it's a fun game. There's online co-op. This is actually a co-op mission. There was no deathmatch. That's a huge letdown in my opinion. It's a real missed opportunity. And the difficulty is really punishing. You can have your periscope knocked out, you can have your view shield knocked out, and then you have to close, and you have to basically fly blind. And that's really annoying. But that's the difficulty of the game. You're either going to like it or you're not. I actually consider it a military simulator. I know obviously we're driving mechs or whatever, but that's basically what it is. If you view it as a military simulator, you'll have fun. But the only way you're going to have fun depends on whether you can master the Kinect controls. And even then, once you do master them, you're still going to be annoyed because the controls are ridiculous. Beyond just that, you have to learn all of the gestures. You have to understand the heat types. You have to take time to learn the game. And if you don't, I guarantee you will not have fun with the game. And, that is, that's a big, it's up to you if you're going to have fun with this game. But you also have to spend the time to get the lighting environment right. You have to spend the time to get the spacing right. I don't have any fancy lighting in this room. It's pretty much one light. So, you're going to have to spend some time. If you really are serious about wanting to play the game, you're going to have to spend some time and set your room up right. If you don't, if you try to play from my couch, for instance, things will go crazy. If you play the way I am right now, sitting in the chair, you'll have no problems. You have to have your spacing right. I don't think it really matters about what color your chair is. I heard Angry Joe say that. That doesn't matter. That's BS. It does matter, if you have lighting that's real bad, let's say it's too bright, that will actually cause more of a problem than playing in the dark. I've played this in the complete dark and it's fine. That's all I can say about Steel Battalion. But let me address the review a little bit more. I said graphics are decent, you can see. They're nothing groundbreaking, but no one's going to say they're last gen or anything. Sounds good. The controls are good once you learn how to play the game. The tutorial is terrible. It will teach you the very basics and nothing more. So you're not going to get a lot out of the tutorial, and that's the problem. The game doesn't explain the proper motions. You have to learn them kind of yourself and by watching other people. And you also have to play in control. You can't, notice my arms weren't swinging all over. People were having them way above their head and everything else. You have to play in control and be very deliberate with your movements. I'm going to knock a point off on the controls, even though I would say this is the most immersive game I've ever played on the Kinect. Some people don't like it because of the controls, and it's not an easy game, so that adds to the frustration of learning how to play the Kinect. And some people don't have the patience, and although I've mastered the controls, it did take some time, and the tutorial didn't explain it, and that's the problem. So I'm not going to point off there, and the difficulty is super cheap. The AI is really bad on your team, and on the other side, they seem to be real marksmen. They can hit everything. So I'm going to, and I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with the way the game's played. A lot of the events are scripted. You're going to end up having to replay levels or missions simply because you didn't see a rocket launcher guy, a guy with an RPG right next to you, and he's there the next time. So I know the game's scripted. You have to learn. It's made from the same developers as Demon's Souls and Dark Souls, and it pretty much has that same element, that every time you play it, you're going to have to learn a little bit more. It's kind of old school gaming. I like it, but I'm going to knock a point off. And I'm also going to knock half a point off because there's only, out of the box, 7 co-op missions. There's 2 new co-op missions that are DLC, but I think they were $3, so I'm not going to count that for or against it. There's no deathmatch, there's no competitive, and it's actually hard to find people. So if I go in here to find people, there's not going to be many people on. And the campaign it's fairly lengthy, but a lot of the missions are very short. They're different. I like the missions. A lot of people said, "Oh, you got to stand up for 3 minutes and find somebody." I like that because they don't always come from the same place. So that wasn't scripted. I thought that was nice. But you can see I'm going to go in and see if I can find a co-op mission and guarantee there won't be anybody there. See, that's the problem. Nobody's playing this game because the reviews are bad. There's a high learning curve. I recommend you take the time, you play the demo, you still run through the tutorial. It's terrible, but in the tutorial it gives you time to get used to the controls. Watch how I play it, watch how other people play it, and if you take the time, this will be one of the greatest games you've ever played. But that said, I'm only giving the game a 7.5 out of 10. And the reasons is poor tutorial, and because of the learning curve of the Kinect controls, the tutorial has to be much better. And Capcom has not released a how to play video. They released a trailer, but it was nothing that was like real gameplay. I mean, it was just a concept trailer. That's not how you learn to play the game. You have to watch other people play the game. So I'm taking a point off there. The difficulty is extremely cheap at times, and some of the missions aren't fun. I mean, there's a mission where you're in the snow. That's not fun at all. So I'm going to take a point, there. And so I would say a 7.5 out of 10 is a fair review. It did not deserve 1 out of 10. These people are BS, or they don't know how to set up their Kinect. So I'm going to give it 7.5 out of 10. I recommend you buy it if you have a Kinect. Try the demo. Take the time to learn the controls. See if it's for you. Thanks for watching. This is John.